Hi everyone, thanks so much for stopping by. Today we'll be doing a book review, and this is entitled Bella Cove, A Second Chance Romance. This is written by Rochelle Katzman. So if you're new to my book reviews and my channel, I'm going to give you information from Goodreads, and I'm gonna give you my review on this one. So this is pretty long when it comes to that. I'm just gonna give you the gist. However, this is rated 3.84 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Genres are romance, contemporary romance. So honestly, when I was starting to read this, I wasn't really sure, and that's because it's based on a few different things. One, there's not a lot of ratings on there. 2, the rating isn't that high. And 3, I've never heard of this author. So I did read this before I got the book. And if you're new, then what I typically do is I usually give it a little bit of time before I do read the book. So if I read the blurb or the synopsis of the book, I usually give it enough time, and I usually either acquire a certain number of books that I've also done this, read with the blurb or the synopsis, or have actually read a few books in between, so that so as much as possible, I will not have recollection of it. Because usually I just kind of skim and not skim. I do have multiple head traumas, so sometimes words come out that aren't the words that I'm looking for, and that's just it. It's not a slip of the tongue. It's more of like, sometimes I mean circle and I'm gonna say pink. It's gonna be something like that. It's weird. So this is really long and it's very descriptive, which doesn't really have a ton of mystery in there. And that was one of the things that kind of made me, I really don't like this kind of synopsis, to be honest, because it gives away too much. It doesn't really matter what kind of type of story you have. I prefer it to be a little bit smaller, not too short to be too vague, but this is just super long. I would say maybe 2/3 or half of this would have been enough. So this might be, there's going to be some spoilers in here, but I do believe that it will benefit anybody who hasn't read this book before, hasn't heard about this book. So when I started to read this, it seemed like a very Hallmarkish, Lifetime kind of story. I don't really watch Hallmark. I don't really watch Lifetime. I think I have seen some Hallmark and some Lifetime movies or shows. I would say maybe less than 5 total. So reading this, in the first half, I'm like, man, this is very Hallmarkish. It's very cutesy. It's very, it's in that kind of genre. I'm not saying that it's overly positive or overly negative or anything like that. I'm just describing how it sounded like for me. If you're into this type of writing, this type of story, then this would be like bullseye for you. So I just kept reading it and going through, and then sometime in the other half of the book, that's when it starts to heat up, and I'm like, it's not what I expected. It becomes very detailed, very graphic, and it does heat it up. That was very unexpected for me, because I've always had this illusion in my mind and assumption, and probably a very unfair one, of Hallmarkish kind of stories and Lifetime kind of stories, that they're very cookie cutter, kind of cutesy, and just that kind of realm. And yes, majority of the love story of this is like that, and the title itself, A Second Chance Romance, that itself is very much Lifetime Hallmarkish. But I'm gonna tell you, if this really surprised me, just some unexpected situations, and they were pretty delightful. I love the fact that there is huge family storyline in this one. I come from a big family, and putting family elements in a story with actual personalities and characters is really important, I think. I always feel like, I don't know if it's because I come from a big family, but when I read stories and they're just an only child, or they only have one sibling and the one sibling is just talked about but never really a part of the story, like for me, I always feel like it's lacking. Or like, I don't know. It always feels like there's a void in there, and it could be biased on my background and how I was raised. But that's just reading something like this where it's very rich in family, and the characters really do have personalities, and they have great elements in them. This was a really, really, really surprising read for me. So I would give this a 3 out of 5 stars. I would actually give this a 2 thumbs up. I did enjoy this, and it's weird because I feel like this is such a dark horse kind of story. It starts off very cutesy, very Hallmarkish, and then it just gives you a huge turn. And at some point, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, is this really the same book that I'm reading? Because it was so unexpected. Just so unexpected. And I really enjoyed it. So if you want to check out the book, I'm not going to put it into details. Second chance romance, there you go. That's already a huge spoiler on itself. There's Kayla and Gabe. They used to have a relationship and they reunite. It's not as easy as that. I'm really, really trying to not say anything about it, because I feel like you're probably going to be like, oh my God, why did you say that? I don't want to ruin anybody's time. I would recommend this book. This is worth a read. If you want to check out where you can get the book, I'll link it down below. Also, I hope you guys or anybody else there would like to connect with me in my other social media accounts, especially Goodreads, because I do love growing my friend network there. And it's a very selfish thing, I know, because I love the email alerts of anybody on my network that has updated their profile in regards to what they want to read, what they finished, what they're reviewing, all of these things, because it makes me also look at those books and be like, would I be interested in that as well? So it's a purely selfish thing, and I hope you do indulge my selfishness to connect with my Goodreads account, and as well as my other social media accounts. Thank you everyone for the kind, beautiful words. There have been some of you that have reached out and asked if I was doing okay. I have some good days and some bad days, but I try as much as possible to, push through it and just strive to be better and strive to be happy. So keep your comments coming. I really appreciate all the beautiful, kind, loving words you guys have been sending to me through here, through Instagram, through email. Like, they mean the world to me, and I do appreciate you. So thank you everyone for the support, and I will see you again next time. Bye.